All right, Capital Outlay Committee of a Whole. Call to order. Roll call, Miss Amanda.
Ms. Abrams?
Here.
Mr. Anthony?
Here.
Ms. Dominguez?
Present.
Mr. Duncan? Mr. Moore?
Here.
Mr. Piazza?
Here. Here.
Ms. Richards?
Present.
Mr. Toller?
Here.
Mr.
What are
Westmoreland?
we going to do with him? All right, we all stand for Pledge of Allegiance. Mr. Toller.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, moving on to new projects. Please consider the approval of 7 Metrosens metal detectors at Hammond High. Is this Mr. Michael Kyles?
Mr. Michael Kyles is here. These are 7 metal detectors to be purchased at a small capital outlay, and he's here if you have any questions.
So moved.
Second.
Questions?
Any questions?
Yeah, I do. I just, I know there's a lot of variations out there on the market. I've looked today from $2,500 a unit to $100,000 a unit. I'm just curious. I don't want to slow down the progress because I know we want to get them in place as quick as possible. But I want to make sure that we've done our due diligence to make sure that we're shopping to get the most for the buck, you know, because I didn't see a comparable quote, you know.
Yeah, I think the model that is here is comparable to detectors that we already have. Like, we were afforded 3 a few years back, and so they're standalone ones. So what we are wanting to do is create pairs so that we can have that what the students can walk through. Like right now for the standalone, like they have to stand there and then we make them spin around, and then the wanding takes time. I think if we had just either created a pair where they could just walk straight through to where it can detect on both sides of the body, it will help us kind of speed through that process a little bit quicker. I'm not against looking at other options, but when I was making that request, I was thinking, what can we get to match what we already have at the school?
Right, and I know the benefits, exactly what you're talking about. You know, you have there's a lot of them out there that have the 2 sides that you walk through, and different. I got a schooling today from a head of security. He was trying to tell me all the different. There's things called metal detectors. There's also things that are detect different shapes of different things that. It's unlimited of what the availabilities are. I just want to make sure when we spend $115,000 that we're getting what you need, and that we're not just throwing money at a problem and getting what we've already had. Because I can tell you there's situations that I've been through, some of the ones that we've had, and they don't work or they don't detect. And I watch at the ball games. I say this in caution, but you know, a lot of the deal with the metal detector is just the idea that it's there. It deters crime. You know, it keeps honest people honest. You know, do they detect keys in your pocket? Do they detect a pocket knife when you walk through? You know, I would love to see these things set up, one of them set up, and actually do some tests on it. But I don't know if it's in our best interest to get somebody. I mean, who are we buying them through? Is it one cell, one person, or one company?
Is that the name of the company right here, sole source statement?
Well, yeah. And the sole source statement, from what I understand, is they have a patent. So they have a sole source on the patent, but they don't have a sole source on detection equipment. You know, there's other brands, there's other patents, there's other.
Mr. Robin.
Anyway.
Yes, Ms. Rose.
I have a question. I'm curious as to last week or whatever our last meeting was, we discussed, Mr. McNeely, purchasing more security for all our campuses, like, you know, the scanning thing and all of that. Is there not a better way to get a better price since we're going to do this on all our campuses? To not just buy piecemeal each campus, but to buy in bulk for all campuses?
I'm not aware of a discount. Mr. Muse actually priced these for all the schools, and it was, I think, $500,000.
Okay.
Mr. Kyles wanted to expedite it and use small capital to go ahead and get those for his campus, for his needs that he has.
So was this is what Mr. Muse found then? And did he get other prices? So I know he wanted this particular brand, but did he get other prices or quoted out?
Prices he got were on these type of scanners and on hand scanners. And I didn't ask this question ahead of time to get the answer. It looks like what he did was he got quotes on what we already have, so everything would match. And from what I understand from Mr. Kyles, they're using the scanners as standalones, so then they have to go two sides to where if you get two scanners side by side, then they would just be able to walk through, which would speed up the 1,600 students you're trying.
Robin. So if we're talking about doing this across the board, would he have to use his capital outlay to do this?
Expedite.
We, as yet, have not done an across the board.
No.
The across the
We were
board
talking
was, there was some grant money through the title office that was able to purchase some, but any that want additional, that's what small capital outlays there is for. It's district money that is at the school for them to use.
So
for
this
their
would be
priorities.
considered additional
Yes.
to the,
Well, remember, Ms. Robin, we were talking about the other thing we were talking about where the kids
Security
would
access.
scan through, security access.
Right.
That we would do across the board. We never voted to do this, metal detectors across the board, we just talked about it.
I thought it was the
We voted,
Ponchatoula,
Ponchatoula bought their own.
No.
but I thought that was the smoke detectors and things that they were buying.
Before
The
that,
vape.
she had bought her
You just
own
said
before
trees.
that.
Okay.
But what we talked about across the board was the things your facial, the scanner, the tags, that thing, not metal detectors. But, I mean, if we're trying to do it secure, I don't know what Ponchatoula has, their
I mean,
brand.
if
I don't
all
know.
the high schools, I mean, I think we all have the same model of
Okay.
the standalone metal detectors. I know that initially, like, I think a while back, we were like saying, hey, like I think we got 3 initially, where 3 isn't a pair. So even when we would use it at the games, we could only use 2.
Yeah.
But when we went to this new intake process, we just tried to think of, okay, what do we have on hand currently? Right now, we have 3 standalones and 3 wands. And so how can we work that to kind of speed the process up? So in one station, we have 2 standalones, and then on the opposite ends, we have 1 standalone and 1 wand. So we're trying to create like a boy-girl line, and they know, and getting some type of routine for the students, so when they learn that, it's going to help speed up the process. Like right now, we're still getting everybody into the building about 7:40, 7:45, which is still like 15 to 20 minutes past our regular, scheduled intake time. So I have made adjustments to our daily schedule, but I would love for us to get resources that support a quicker intake system. That way we can stay consistent with the original Bell schedule that we submitted at the beginning of the year.
Mr. Piazza.
You're wanting 7 more, how many do you have?
3.
3, okay.
So,
And then we were also looking at putting one in the main office too, to have individuals that visit to come through and be checked as well. So we still have students that check in late. And then I think about having parents walk through it as well. Not saying that we have anybody that will come with anything like dangerous, but it's a unified message, like nobody's getting a pass,
so just to answer or piggyback off of Ms. Rose, this board did approve metal detectors, and that was what was already put onto campus, but we haven't approved any additional. We're only looking at doing the scan access and stuff like that. My question, Mr. Kyle, and look, I appreciate you bringing this. I think it's definitely needed, especially on our larger campuses. I think it's needed across the parish at all of our high schools and even some of our junior highs, to be honest, the ones with a lot of, issues going on. I know I was in touch with a company prior to the school year that was at one of our retreats and stuff, and I know some of those companies will come out and do a test run with their particular product to make sure it's what you want before you invest into the full system. Is that something, do you know off the top of your head if that's something this company will do, if they'll come out and do a test run before we invest in the full 7?
I'm not sure, because we, like me and other principals, we have not initiated those conversations. Like Mr. McNeely said, I think Mr. Muse was the one spearheading that. And I think in the past, like I said, it was bought with title funds possibly. And so we were just gifted them. And so we were able to try to figure out how to incorporate them in our intake process. But due to recent events, we had to think of something quicker. And like I said, having a, I was thinking more so if I can create sets, that's going to help us with the overall flow. And I think, as I mentioned before, we just went with what we already had.
And like I said, I don't think anybody's arguing the need. I just want to make sure that, because we all know that technology is just as good as it is just this year, and then it's sometimes a brick the next year.
Right.
I want to make sure if you're using your capital outlay money, which is made to plan ahead, that we're putting in the systems that are going to last you the longest.
Correct.
That's my only concern. I think you're definitely in need. I definitely think you should get it. I just want to make sure that what you're getting is, one, going to meet the need that you're wanting it to before you get 7 machines on your campus.
Right.
And it not do what you want it to do.
Yeah, I mean, the recommendations to shop around, I'm not against it. I mean, we're making do with what we have.
These match what you have.
Ma'am,
These match what you have.
it would, yes, ma'am.
Okay. So you're already used to using these in the first place.
Timeline on delivery, I didn't see it in here. Y'all have an
2
idea
to
on
4
that?
weeks.
What's that?
Says 2 to 4 weeks on here.
Oh, good. I mean, I know you need these right away, and he's using
Yes.
the small capital outlay, and if he thinks that's what's best for his campus, I feel like we should approve it.
Wait, Mr. Duncan?
Yeah, I just wanted to point out to the board the urgency of this request. The parents that have been communicating with me about this, the most recent intake process, are deeply concerned about the fact that we have students standing outside of the school for 40 minutes to an hour in an unsecured zone, waiting to get through these metal detectors, and it's not that because the staff isn't doing the absolute best they can with what they have, it's just that this is a very intensive intake process, and to the extent that this board can help address the urgency of this need with additional pieces of technology, I would just encourage us to do whatever we can to help with that.
Toller?
Yeah, last thing I'll say on it, and look, like I said, I support spending your capital outlay money on a problem that you want to solve. What I have an issue with is moving forward without an expert opinion, without a comparable quote, without anything to show us that, yes, we're getting the best bang for the buck. What I would propose, and maybe I can make an amendment, to approve this up to the 115,500 pending a review by someone, maybe at the sheriff's office, maybe somebody local that has purchased these in the past. If we could just reach out to someone who is an expert at this and have them say, hey, Tangipahoa Parish School Board, that's a good price, it's good equipment, it's going to serve you well. And then we already have the motion, then it can just proceed on and it won't slow it down. So I'll make the amendment to amend the motion
Tom, but he's saying that this is what we have already.
And I think this is state contract price. This is not,
I know it didn't say anything about state contract.
okay.
This is more matching what we, I'm sorry, I probably should. This is more matching what we already have. If you would like to, if y'all want to, I don't know if you have to do a motion, if you just ask us before we buy them, we can get with Uncell, our SRO, and just make sure that they're happy with what we're
Well, I just want to speak to someone, I mean, I'll do it, tomorrow. I mean, just want to speak to someone who's bought these, not this brand, but bought equipment. Because like I said, today's research, you can buy these for $2,500, you can buy these for $100,000.
Are we going to decide this at the next meeting anyway? Approve these minutes?
That's true.
Yeah, this can't move forward with this.
That's true. We can have that information for you. at the
Approve
next
them
meeting.
December 2nd.
I don't want to slow the process down, but before I spend $115,000, I want to make sure that he gets what he needs to protect that school.
All right, you have a motion.
So the motion is to approve the administration's recommendation as of right now, but with the understanding that we're going to do our double check before December.
We have a motion by Mr. Westmoreland and a second by Mr. Piazza.
Ms. Richards?
Okay, Ms. Richards.
Well, I would like to make sure, Mr. Muse, if this price is a bulk price, if he did get in fact, a price for a bulk, I mean, because if not, then that may be.
And that's what I'm saying, Mr. Muse, if he's the one who put this together, I'm sure he looked at some items.
And we just want this done before our next meeting so we can approve the minutes and move forward with it for you.
Yes,
All right?
we did go through the selection process, the bidding process, when we purchased the first ones, right? The ones he's using now.
No, they were part of a grant, and we didn't have any say in it. So the grant gave us what they wanted to give us. My point is that the best piece of equipment? Now that we're paying for them, is that the best piece of equipment? Or can we get 14 for the same price and do the adequate job? Right. That's what I'm saying.
We'll call for a vote, Ms. Amanda.
Ms. Abrams,
Yes.
Mr. Anthony,
Yes.
Ms. Dominguez.
Yes.
Mr. Duncan.
Yes.
Mr. Moore,
Yes.
Mr. Piazza,
Yes.
Ms. Richards,
Yes.
Mr. Toller,
Yes.
Mr. Westmoreland.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you, Mr. Collis.
Thank you, Mr. Collins.
All right, moving on to B, consider approval to design a second-floor build-out as part of Champ Cooper's Phase 2.
All right, as part of our discussion on Champ Cooper Phase 2, the board has approved and sent to the court, and the court approved 10 classrooms for the price. There was a discussion, and I'm just needing some guidance from the board. Mr. Piazza asked that we put this on the agenda because I would need the board to actually vote for us to do something different than what you've already approved and the court's approved.
Mr. Piazza?
Yes, ma'am. So, like I said in our retreat, that's a public meeting, we all got the review of population growth, and it is undeniably that Champ Cooper is growing at a rapid rate. I'm looking at the numbers that were published, and a 10-year trend is looking at an 84% increase. 10 classroom addition was agreed upon almost 5 years ago, Rose, or a little?
2022, the court approved.
Court approved a 10 addition classroom. Back then, the growth was not as substantial as we're seeing it now. I even got, with our parish councilwoman who's over there, Miss Bridget Hyde, the lot, she said that there is an additional, and I'll read it out to you. So on top of what we already are looking with enrollment counts, she states that the parish is looking to add an additional 810 homes in that area starting in December. They are approving new designs for other subdivisions. There are still 155 lots still remaining on the Lees Landing Road development, and 796 homes have been built in Fairhope with 219 remaining. We have to address the population growth.
So at what point do we build a new school?
But that's the thing, is when do we talk about that? We can't wait 6 years because we're not on Phase 3. We have nothing approved for Phase 3 for Champ Cooper. Phase 4 is 5 years down the road. We can't wait 5 years to discuss addressing growth when we're already behind the 8 ball. I understand and I completely respect every member on this board to have concerns about the price, investing this much, or student count. I completely respect that. But we have to address the overall growth in the area. We can't be behind like we are right now. We were behind on Phase 2, which is a blessing and a curse because it gives us an option as a board to put something on that campus that is more long-term rather than a temporary fix. If we as a board had an understanding of saying, okay, well, in Phase 3, we're going to build another wing, which you're landlocked, you're really hindering yourself on what you can do future growth on that campus. I think the 2-story is an option. Again, we've talked to the parish council. We have the data right here backing us up. If you go to the judge, which I know that is a very big concern for some people on this board, we would not be doing justice to those constituents, to that school, if we just said, we're not going back to the judge because we don't want to go and clog up the DSEG case. We should bring it to him and give him, if worst case scenario, he says no, we build the one single story and then we go back to the drawing board on Phase 3. But it's not fair to those people in the district that are looking for the growth. We have kids that are sitting in portables that are dilapidated. Even with the 10 additional classrooms, you're still not going to have enough room for additional growth. You're just going to be moving one kid from a portable to a room, and then once your enrollment goes back up, which we know is coming next year, you're right back in the situation you're in, and we have no plan for growth there.
Okay, so are we trying to make,
So my motion is to adopt our plan for a 2-story building in Champ Cooper for Phase 2 and Phase 3. It would cover Phase 2 and 3 for Champ Cooper.
All right, so how many classrooms total?
20.
Okay,
He's a second on that.
I'll be second. Because Rose wants it.
You can do it.
Okay.
so we got a motion and a second.
So
All right.
is that to do the entire classroom or just?
So look, I'm willing to compromise. I'm good with the shell. I think we need the full build-out. I think you're setting yourself up for success.
I'm just clarifying.
Yeah. I'm okay. I just want everybody on the board, though, since we're about to have some discussion. I think it needs the full build-out. I think it is a harder sell to go to a judge and ask for 4 million instead of 1. But at the end of the day, if he sees the data that we're all seeing, it should be an easy decision. But even if we get just the shell and this board can come back later and make that decision, it still gives them a chance to address the growth.
Mr. Duncan?
Yeah, and I don't want to beat this, we talked about this extensively at our retreat, but I'll put on the record for the rest of for the public to see that I think that changing what has already been approved with our desegregation judge and going back to him with any sort of adjustment, especially if it's not even to build out the whole thing and address it, and it's just a build out that will still eventually, get the additional 10 classrooms. I think it's a very strategically bad decision. It will delay us actually being able to address the current needs of Champ Cooper because it will be at least a year-long process to get court approval, whereas right now we already have court approval. We can move forward with getting these 10 classrooms that we already know that we need, and then of course can proceed in the future with any additional build-out. But to delay addressing the immediate needs by saying we're going to put on hold something that's already been approved so that we can go and hopefully get approval from this desegregation judge for something more is a strategically bad decision. I will illustrate it this way. Most of the people on this board won't remember it, but Ms. Rose will. One of the first things that we went to the court for as a facility improvement after this desegregation case restarted was simply a request to replace rusted out doors on this campus. And the judge would not approve that for Champ Cooper because it was a majority white school. I don't know how we got it through to approve phase 1 and phase 2 for Champ Cooper, but going back and asking for even more money for Champ Cooper puts what's already been approved at substantial risk. I just think we ought to move forward with what we've got and then proceed in the future with the additional needs, which may include building out a whole new campus for that area of Tangipahoa.
Mr. Tom?
We don't know.
Yeah, and I echo what I spoke to Joey about earlier. On the construction side, it is, in my opinion, it would be extremely expensive in the rural area of Tangipahoa Parish to build something 2-story simply because the infrastructure does not support the water system for the fire suppression, and if the fire marshal says we do sprinkles, now we do tank, now we do fire pumps, it gets expensive to go to second floor. My thing, like I just spoke about earlier, we're at the point we need another school in that corner of the parish. We've already said, one of the arguments we had not arguments, but one of the conversations we had at the retreat was the fact that the parking, the driveway, the road, everything is just maxed out. So we're talking about putting another 20 classrooms, possibly, in an area that's already full. Let's go ahead, and like Mr. Duncan is saying, go with the plan that we have now to give them some relief on the 10 rooms, and let's immediately start looking at where do we put another school that solves our problem long-term? Because stacking stuff in a landlocked area with the same roads, the same driveways, the same cafeteria, the same gym, it's not a solution. That school is already too big as an elementary. So my strong objection is the fact that second floor construction in the rural area in Tangipahoa Parish with occupancy is a disaster. And you can ask Mr. Charlie Kirkland, I hadn't talked to him about it at all, but I can see him shaking his head. It's a disaster on the cost side. So that's all I'll say.
Mr. Joey?
And also, so I'm going to make one last point, and I know the principal was here. I don't know if she's wanting to speak or not. I know she was here as well. But I'm going to make my last point here. I think all those are valid arguments. But we are already behind.
Right.
Even if you put the 2-story building, and you build another campus somewhere else, that elementary ain't going nowhere. It's only going to get bigger.
If you build another campus, it would solve it.
But you're years out from that. You still got to buy land, level it out, build buildings. I mean, you're years.
You're going to be years out, though, by delaying this project.
We're already delayed.
But we're not.
You're just going to delay it more.
We've already got court approval.
I mean, we're already there.
Anyway, it's a bad.
I have a question. How can we go about sending kids that go to Champ Cooper now to other schools? Would we have to redraw the lines again?
Well, yeah, there's nowhere to send them.
If we're growing that much out there, why can't we go to the books and redraw the lines to get them out of there?
You don't have room at LaRonge?
And the nearby schools are also all at capacity, so that.
Ms. Rose?
Well, I would really like to hear from our principal and our former principal about where they're sitting, what they're doing to accommodate now.
We all agree
I
that there's
don't- I
growth, and
don't
we all
want
agree
to
that it's full.
hold-
I don't know why we're gonna spend more time talking about the need. We understand we are crowded. We get it. The solution is the
I
problem.
don't want to hold up the DSEG, but it's, my first year on this board, we had a plan, 2007, and we're still talking about this, and we still don't, we built 10 classrooms, but that plan in 2007 was actually for 15 classrooms and a gym, because there's one gym that accommodates 1,200 kids right now. So we didn't do any of that. All that's been pushed off all of these years, and we're still discussing it. And they're over, the classrooms there are not even built for any more kids to even get in a classroom. You can only put so many desks in there. Right now, they have 6 classrooms, 6 portables classrooms that are just in one spot. That doesn't count kindergarten. That doesn't count all the other classrooms that are portables that are being used. So if we put 10 classrooms, we're still not gonna move the portables. I mean, we've already established that the portables are still gonna be there. Because there's 10 classrooms is not even gonna cover the children who are permanently right there now. So that's
How
why
many-
we're thinking, while we're spending the money, one groundwork, if we do 2 levels, then, I mean, Mr. Theron, who's our construction guy, said he recommended just to go ahead with double level. You don't have the extra groundwork, you don't have the prep work or all of that stuff. The carpool line, the parking lot is gonna be built at the same time. It just seems to me that while we're spending taxpayer dollar, that we would spend it, maybe it will slow up the DSEG, maybe it won't, I don't know.
How many
but-
students are actually in each classroom at Champ Cooper?
Go ahead
You
and
can,
come to
thank
the
you.
podium, you guys, both of you. Mr.
Your
Martinez,
average
yes,
class,
ma'am.
what is your average class
Probably 28, 29.
per class?
And the lower is a little bit, less because of the state guidelines, but yes, we're really maxed out. We have one classroom open, and it's in a portable that is in need of repair. All the other classrooms are full completely. Even with the creative scheduling that I've done, I have teachers sharing a classroom. So the teacher's traveling to another person's classroom and teaching in there. They're all full.
Your
And
band-
we're
your
utilizing.
band and your PE, tell them about that.
Band is in the auditorium. PE is using the school cafeteria for floor hockey. We have the field. In the evenings, they're going to the auditorium. So it's really like playing switcheroo at this point because of the space.
So I want to be clear. My objection is not about holding up the DSEG case, although I'm going to come back to that. My objection is that by doing what y'all are suggesting, by not moving forward with securing a design and getting bids to build the 10 classroom addition that's already approved, you are delaying addressing their need by at least a year. Now, I want to address their needs sooner rather than later with the 10 classrooms that have already been approved. That's what I'm suggesting. But I will point out that just 2 weeks ago, the objection that was filed to us getting final unitary status, this is what was filed by the plaintiff's attorneys on November the 11th, a significant part of their objection was the fact that we are spending significantly more in Phase 2 on schools that have been identified as white schools versus black schools, majority black schools in our Phase 2 projects. And what y'all are asking us to do is to go back and double the budget on one of the white schools that has already been approved for the DSEC for Phase 2. And and asking the judge to consider that while he is considering whether to give us final unitary status.
And I think I have to agree with Brett on this one, and if we do this, there's a chance that he can come back and say, no, I'm not approving any of it. And you're losing your 10 classrooms you already have.
I want to know what our numbers are at that school, because I don't think it's primarily all white. It's not what it was back in 2022 when he approved it.
It's a 60-40 school.
But that's not,
But us understanding that and the plaintiffs and the judge understanding that are two totally different things.
if you were addressing growth and you were addressing the actual need, I would agree. I don't think you're addressing need or growth. And like I said, we call to order, that's fine. I don't think we're addressing need. I don't think we're addressing growth. I think a 10 is just a Band-Aid. I think the judge, if given, again, I'll take my chances there because to tell my constituents I didn't try because I was too scared to send it to him for him to tell me yes or no.
Well, go ahead. Let's say, for instance, let's just assume that this motion is to keep it at 10, one floor. Immediately get with the administration and come up with a plan to do another 10 and then push it to the judge. Since we already have one approved,
But
let's
this is
start
only
building
design.
that one.
But this is only for design. So what would it make a difference to go ahead and approve this now and go for design?
I call the question.
All right, okay, let's go ahead.
Let me ask a question. How many classrooms did you have that are at a 28 student count?
Our elementary, probably our kindergarten are 21, 22, and kindergarten and maybe first grade, nothing beyond that.
Okay.
And self-contained, I'm sorry, we do have some small numbers self-contained, autism, significant, disabilities. They're in a smaller setting, of course.
Who did this survey? Who did this?
That was what Mr. McNeely gave us last
Can I
week at
ask
the
a quick
retreat.
question? So we did this?
I did.
Oh, you did? You
But,
did. Okay.
but the way that that's figured is all of the employees on campus divided by the number of kids. It
Yes.
doesn't necessarily
So
mean
this
the
is
number of
students
teachers
per-
that are actually teaching students.
Right,
So
this
it could
is-
be your librarian, your lunchroom people, your administrators. You take all those people and add them up and divide them by the number of kids, then that's not a,
This is
okay.
this is just students per classroom.
yeah, but that's not an accurate number, is what I'm trying to explain. They take all the employees on campus and
Okay.
divide them, or all the administrators as well, who don't teach children.
So the
And that's how you
average,
get
the
that
average
number.
number for a successful classroom is 20 to 30. That's the national average for
30 is too low.
for the numbers of children you can have in the classroom, and then the instruction still being successful. It's 20 to 30 students.
You have something, Mr.
Listen,
Trent?
I understand preparing for future needs. I'm not against it. I'm not against it. I'm not convinced that the growth over the next 10 years is going to be what it is. We don't know what's going to happen. We don't know who's moving into those homes. We can even use an average, but even using an average, it does not definitively give us a number that we can count on, right? I think we have time. I think we have time, if the need is really there, for that need to actually present itself as legitimate.
That's a question, Tom.
All right, go ahead, Trent.
But I will say this, because that's not my only objection. My other objection is this. When we did the first phase at John Cooper, each one of the schools that we were doing classrooms on were about $4.5 million. And then one of the biggest objections that you've gotten from the plaintiff attorneys has been that almost $3 million increase in those 10 classrooms. We did 14 classrooms at Hammond High for 5.
But we built the cafeteria.
That was not.
The cafeteria
That
cost
was
more.
not. That was not what was presented to the
Yes,
court.
it was.
So the increase was not
Yes, it
approved.
was.
This is a different board.
Yes,
isn't it?
yes,
And
it
the-
was.
But-
And plus,
Okay,
we went through
we're gonna-
COVID.
What I'm saying is
We
this,
went
right?
through
Since
COVID and a lot of price increase at that time.
Building,
as well.
yeah.
Point of order.
It didn't increase the price of the other schools that we were doing, so materials were across the board. What increased the price of that school was the redesign of that school, right? I never saw,
We're getting off topic.
All right, go ahead, Mr. Trent. One more question.
And now we want to build what, another 10 classrooms for the same $7 million? The additions that we're talking about doing on the other campuses don't add up to that square footage, that price per square footage.
Did you look at the diagram, though? It's not just classrooms, it's the parking lot, it's a driveway, it's cafeteria.
Which can be taken out.
But Rose, we have
it's not just
schools that are satellite schools. I mean, I don't even see the justification.
And we have
for-
kids that are sitting in closets,
I don't see the.
All right, we're gonna move on. We're getting off subject here. Trent, go ahead and ask your last question.
Probably the most important question.
I mean, I've got multiple objections
Yeah.
to doing this.
We have time to,
And those things are gonna be presented when this thing goes before the judge for
a question to the board, did the judge order us to remove portables?
Yes.
Yes.
Ma'am, how many
That's
portables
been-
are
that's
you
been-
using
that's-
currently?
Currently, we have 6 that look like a modular, and our pre-K is out there as of now, so that means they have to travel inside to use the bathroom, and it's a longer hike, of course, to the cafeteria.
6
And-
portable classrooms.
And then we have what you would call maybe the portables. We have 4 classrooms there, and they're being utilized with the exception of 1.
Does that add up to 9 classrooms? All right, and how
10.
many are in
Yeah,
the
that's what I'm-
auditorium?
The auditorium, I didn't include that in the number, but it's 10 portables for classrooms.
How many classrooms are being held in the auditorium?
The band in the morning and then the PE in the evening,
Okay.
because some go to the cafeteria, some go outside, some use the gym, and then, it becomes problematic when you try to put those classes all together in a gym. It's virtually,
We got, if my math's correct, we got 9. And don't you have 2 in the library, 2 classrooms that have taken half your library space?
yes,
That's
sir.
11.
We have, and then we're utilizing small closet areas as well for some of our, like, smaller classrooms, like special education. I
Don't you
wouldn't
have
call
some
it a
shared classrooms?
classroom.
I'm sorry.
I really wouldn't call it a classroom because it's very, very small.
The room closet that you got kids in. So we got 11 or 12, if I'm not mistaken, and don't you have some that are sharing classrooms in addition to that?
I do.
Okay, so if we build a 10-classroom building, we're not even addressing the need that the school has. So anyway, that's just my 2 cents.
We're addressing the portable classrooms, and we're addressing the immediate needs quicker. Call the question.
All right, we're gonna call for a vote. Ms. Amanda?
Wait, what is the,
Motion is to approve my motion that was seconded was to approve a 2-story building at Champ Cooper for Phase 2 and Phase 3.
Approve the design.
Design, sorry.
The design.
Yes.
well, plus, before we vote, Mr. McNeely is also concerned about the fact that we can't even move forward anyway because of DOTD. So it's
We're
not
waiting
like
time anyway.
tomorrow
Yeah.
we're gonna go do anything. We have to wait for DOTD to even give us a.
The design is not waiting on DOTD.
No.
The design team can go ahead and draw up the school, get everything approved, and then it comes back to us.
Okay, Ms.
And
Amanda.
how much would that cost?
The design,
Okay, Ms. Amanda, call for a vote.
No, but,
Now, wait, she's got about,
How much does it cost?
It's about the delay, it's not about the cost. It's about are we gonna have them design what the court's already approved, or are we gonna have them design something that we still have to go back to get court approval for? That's
Right
the
now,
question.
court approval is how much?
10 additional classes.
Getting a-
How much is that 10 additional class?
$100,000.
$8 million is what's approved right now.
So if we had,
To do the, not full build out, but the
Shell.
2-story building with the shell on the second floor is only $1.5 million more. And then eventually in phase 3, we can finish the second story.
Where did the $8 million approval come from, Rose?
That's phase 1.
That, like
I mean,
3
phase
years
2.
ago.
That was not Phase 1.
Phase
Phase 1
2,
was.
sorry,
No,
phase
phase
2.
2 was approved by the court 3 years ago, $8 million.
4.5.
but the $8 million is for 10 classrooms
Yes.
And the driveway.
and the driveway and
20
whatever.
classrooms, well, 20, but not finished at the top, would be 9.5.
9.
So we're talking about designing these 10 classrooms with that glass wall that's
No.
inside the first one?
No.
10 straight, the diagram, they gave it to us 2 weeks ago. It's the diagram is
But we
straight.
won't know because we haven't got it
I
designed.
didn't-
They
We
gave
won't
it to
know.
us,
I didn't-
they
I
gave
didn't
us a
get copy of that,
thing.
so-
It's
To answer
10.
your-
Call for a vote, Ms. Amanda.
to answer
Ms.
your question,
Abrams?
it hasn't been designed.
No.
We'll not have that. You have a
Mr.
different board than you
Anthony?
did.
This is gonna cost $7 million.
Ms. Dominguez?
Yes.
Mr. Duncan?
No.
Mr. Moore?
No.
Mr. Piazza?
Yes.
Ms. Richards?
Yes.
Mr. Toller?
no.
Mr. Westmoreland,
Yes.
motion carries.
Thank you.
Appreciate the
And thank
time.
you, Dr. Hoffman, for coming. Thank you, Mr. Anthony. Thank all of you. Thank you.
And I appreciate it too. I just want to let it known, I've grown up down the street from Champ Cooper, so I was born there. I've experienced the mass growth, and I still see it from back then, so I do feel as if the trajectory is going to continue.
Just know that none of us up here are against adding schools. That by no means is what we're saying.
Well, I really appreciate it.
But we just hope this doesn't take away from getting you something sooner than later with this passing the way it did. So just let that be known.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, Ms.
All right, consider the approval for the design of Sumner High School classroom addition to remove portables.
Okay.
Who wants to argue this one?
No argument. This was left off of the original list for capital outlay. There was a question about the capacity at the school. I met with Mr. Fussell. The portables are currently being used as a band room, as the air Civil Air Patrol, and 2 of the rooms are being used for SPED. The rest of the campus is 100% full. He did not have a classroom for a new teacher, so everything is being used, and these portables, so we would ask approval just to start looking into design and feasibility for a building to house the band room, the Civil Air Patrol, and some self-contained rooms.
I'll make that motion, and I also add it up that if anything to do with this design, the plan is cinder block building, shingle roof that will match the existing area just to get space. We're not talking about $8 million for 4 classrooms or whatever. This is going to be utilizing the best construction that we can to get what we need out of space. But I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Okay.
I'm sorry, let Ms. Richards second, please.
And I hope this ends up being one of these prepackaged plans that we come up with, the CSRS. I hope we come up with a 4-plex, 6-plex, 8-plex, and say, let's put it at Sumner and try it. And if we put it there and it works and y'all need more room, pop these suckers up in 3 months somewhere.
Yes.
I hope the entire
Same
phase
color as
2
the exterior of the other
Exactly.
campuses they end up.
That's the plan.
I would encourage you to go see Woodland Park. I walked it this past week, and it's exactly what we need. P-tax with dehumidification in the hallways, solid cinder block, not going to have any problems.
Move on.
And that one came in, if you remember, it was originally 3.4 million, it came in at 1.8,
Yeah.
1.8 million. So
For how many classrooms?
I think 6 and a library that can serve as 2 classrooms, so I think it's 8.
All right, call for a vote, Ms. Amanda?
Ms. Abrams,
Yes.
Mr. Anthony,
Yes.
Ms. Dominguez,
Yes.
Mr. Duncan,
Yes.
Mr. Moore,
Yes.
Mr. Piazza,
Yes.
Ms. Richards,
Yes.
Mr. Toller,
Yes.
Mr. Westmoreland,
Yes.
motion carries.
All right, if nothing else to be brought to the Capital Outlay Committee as a whole, we'll adjourn. Be back in 10 minutes.